Welcome to Essentials of Acute Care. I am Dr. Sunil Garg. Today I am going to discuss an interesting point in the management of diabetic ketoacidosis. Here is the case. This 26-year-old gentleman presented with nausea, vomiting and pain abdomen. Though there was no prior history of diabetes, but we made the diagnosis of diabetic ketoacidosis in this patient on the basis of high blood sugar level of 512 mg per deciliter, presence of urine glucose 4 plus, ketone 4 plus in the urine, and positive serum ketones and presence of metabolic acidosis. This is the arterial blood gas analysis of this patient. Here you can see pH was 7.11, pCO2 13 millimeter of mercury, potassium 4.3, glucose 494 milligram per deciliter, and lactate value of 1.1 millimole per liter. The management of diabetic ketoacidosis primarily involves fluid resuscitation with the normal saline, at least initially, infusion of insulin, and potassium replacement or supplementation as per the patient need. There is also need to monitor patient's pH, blood sugar, ketone values, and potassium values as per the need of the patient to look for the response to the therapy. But we ignore one of the very important aspect of the patient management, or we usually overlook that aspect of the management. Can you guess what is that? This is the patient's subsequent ABG. Here we can see patient is improving. His pH has improved to 7.25, pCO2 to 24, potassium as expected has decreased to 3.2, his glucose value has dropped to 192, and additionally his sodium value has increased from 130 to 137 milliequivalent per liter. How did it happen? How the management of diabetic ketoacidosis or uncontrolled diabetes affects the sodium metabolism? Let's go into some details. The equation between serum sodium and blood glucose is quite complex, and it needs to be understood for better management of diabetic ketoacidosis. With the rise in blood sugar, plasma tonicity increases, and it works as driving force for the movement of water from intracellular to extracellular space, thus leading to dilutional hyponatremia. Additionally, vasopressin secretion due to volume loss limits the ability of kidney to lose water, which in turn contribute to hyponatremia. So, with the onset of hyperglycemia, serum sodium falls, and it continues to fall as the blood sugar rises. It means patients of DKA have low serum sodium value as initial finding. Though it occurs most of the time, it is not always the case. Some of them may develop high serum sodium as a result of free water loss through kidney due to osmotic diuresis. To what extent high blood sugar affects serum sodium? There is general consensus that sodium falls by a factor of 1.6 milliequivalent per liter for every 100 milligram percent rise in the blood glucose value above 100 milligram percent. To better understand it, if patient has blood glucose value of 500 milligram percent, sodium will fall by 1.6 multiplied by 4 is equivalent to 6.4 milliequivalent per liter. It has therapeutic implications since serum sodium increases during treatment, and if serum sodium value is already in the hypernatremic range at the beginning of treatment, or patient develops hypernatremia during the treatment, you need to alter the fluid therapy. You need to alter fluid therapy to more hypotonic fluid in the same way as you do when blood glucose level falls below 200 to 200 milligram percent during therapy by adding dextrose. Now we understand the concept of sodium management during therapy for diabetic ketoacidosis. In summary, we can say if the patient has hypernatremia at the beginning of DKA treatment, or if patient develop hypernatremia during the course of DKA treatment, we need to alter the fluid therapy. Here, I want to highlight one important point. If you are working in the critical care unit and you are measuring the serum sodium value, it should be measured through the arterial blood gas analysis because it is based on the direct ion selective electrode potentiometry, which is one of the most accurate method for measuring the serum sodium value. So whenever next time you get an opportunity to manage diabetic ketoacidosis, always look and take care of sodium. Hope this video will be useful for you. Thanks.